All right. All right. Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome back to Live with Leslie. I'm so happy that you're here with us today. And I'm Leslie Vitel, and I help health professionals grow profitable and sustainable practices. And my favorite thing to talk about is leverage offers. And of course, passive income as well, which we are going to touch on today. So, the end result is enabling you to be able to serve more people in less time, right? So today I am really looking forward to my conversation with Molly Downey, and she is from L-Nutra, otherwise known as ProLon. And we are going to talk all about the 5-day fasting mimicking diet. We're going to talk about what it is. We're going to dig into the science, which is huge. And PS, in my opinion, a huge motivator. We're going to talk about longevity and most importantly, how practitioners just like you can get set up and start referring, right? And hopefully integrating this amazing tool into your own practice. So, specifically, let me just give you a quick overview on what we're going to cover. So, we got a really full plate. We're going to cover what exactly is this thing, the 5-day fast mimicking diet and how it works. We're again going to touch on the science. Very motivating. So, we're going to touch on the science-backed benefits, specifically around metabolic health, longevity, weight loss, and more. What does that 5-day experience look like in terms of food, calories, and nutrients? And who is a good fit for this approach? And who's maybe not such a great fit? Okay, we're going to touch on that too, and how health pros can get themselves set up as a referring provider through ProLon, through their practitioner program. All right, so grab yourself a cup of tea and let's buckle up because this is going to be really interesting. Do want to introduce to you all Molly. So, welcome, Molly. I'm really happy to have you, and it's great to meet you.
Leslie, I'm so happy to be here with you and your audience. I'm Molly. I am a registered dietitian and longevity dietitian at L-Nutra and ProLon. So I've had the blessing of working in the health space for over a decade now, or just about a decade. And I have had the experience of helping to build the nutrition department in many different startups. So it's been a wonderful experience. I love anything related health, nutrition, longevity. My passion really lies in the giving people the resources and education to really optimize their health so then they can live longer and more fuller lives. So I'm
Mm.
really excited to dive into what we're all about here at ProLon and L-Nutra, and as you mentioned, the fasting mimicking diet. It's a
Mhm.
really cool nutrition technology that I love so much. So I'm really excited to dive into it and especially the research and everything that we have today.
All right. Well, let's do it. So, I think probably a good place to start is what is it for members of our audience who maybe some of us have heard of it, but we're not quite sure. And to be honest, I'm sure many others really have not heard of it. So,
Yeah.
give us kind of the overview on what the heck is it? And I think another point that I want to delve into is how is it different than, like, for example, water fasting, or we've heard of juice fasting. Like, there's so many different varieties of fasting out there. So, yeah, give us an overview if you would.
Yeah, so the fasting mimicking diet, it differs than, what your typical extended water fast would do or time restricted eating. So what it allows for is you still get the deep benefits of what an extended fast would provide to your body, but you still get to consume food and nourishment. So that's what you're consuming while you're actually on the 5-day fast. So what's happening is you're still able to consume some food. So you get crackers, you get teas, you get soups, all these different things and olives. So you're still providing that nourishment. And what's going on exactly on day 3, 4, and 5, when you're on the 5-day fast, is your body's going into deep metabolic autophagy. What
Mhm.
that means is it literally means self-devouring. So your body is doing a deep spring cleanup internally within the body. It allows your cells to regenerate, so then they can start functioning more optimally within the body once the fast is complete. So if someone is just doing a water fast, for example, the biggest issue there is actual adherence to the fast. There are risks that go along with it, and many people can't actually do that 5-day fast. So our founder, Dr. Walter Longo, he's been doing research out of the University of Southern California for over 25 years. We have over 40 clinical trials on the 5-day fast and the fasting mimicking diet. And the reason why he developed this program is because he was finding so many benefits to a 5-day water fast, right? But
Mhm.
again, it's there's that level of difficulty for people actually adhering to it. So
Mhm.
that's where the 5-day fast comes in. It's pretty much foolproof. You get it. Everything is that you need for those 5 days is provided in that kit. And your body is able to, get those metabolic longevity, and that deep cellular rejuvenation during those 5 days.
Okay, I love that. And as you and I were just talking about before we hit the that go live button, um, I I did it for the first time. I'm quite proud of myself, in all honesty, because
Amazing.
I was like, oh, I was hesitant because I didn't know. In all honesty, I didn't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
Truth be known. And most critically, I didn't know if I could do it and work for
Yeah.
5 days. That was the big thing, like, will I be mentally sharp?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna wanna go curl up in a ball? Because I haven't, had enough, nutrients. So, I do wanna report that it was very doable, and it was great just having those kits. It's like, "Okay, here's our box. Here's what we got today."
Yeah.
So it makes it I mean, it literally is a no-brainer.
Yeah. And what you just mentioned right there is a lot of people's experience, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't, anticipating the fast and going into it, and am I gonna be able to work, and am I
Yeah,
gonna be able to function? All these,
a lot of
worries
fears.
are inevitable. It's until you actually do it and go through the experience yourself that you really get immersed in it and are able to really feel those benefits within yourself and in your body, and it requires some discipline. You're
Yeah,
you're you're
of
in a
course.
state caloric reduction. So of course it's a change to your daily, weekly routine, but you come out feeling again incredible,
Amazing.
and you're able to do something that is really difficult to,
Yeah.
but doable.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I felt kind of proud of myself, in all honesty. I'm like, "Yes, I did it." And just want everyone to know up front that, we're gonna do a couple group fasts, all right? Because one thing I have learned is it is really helpful to do it in the company of others. So stay tuned for more on that in terms of dates and that. But why don't we hone in what, share a little bit about the science, like, and who is a good fit and who is not? Can you give us an overview on that? Because I think that's really important. Um, yeah, just give us a snapshot of like a patient type or a client type
Yeah.
that is ideal to do this.
Yeah. In general, so we have over 40 clinical trials, as I mentioned. So
Mhm.
the different areas in which the 5-day fast is able to support, is there's so many different areas. So when it comes to metabolic health or diabetes or longevity, we have specific research looking at that if you do 3 consecutive cycles, so once a month, the 5 days for 3 months in a row, you can actually reverse your biological age by 2.5 years, which is incredible.
It's huge. Like,
It's
how else could you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know of any other way that we've been able to measure
I
in
don't
that
know.
so
So
precisely. Yeah.
yeah. So it's incredible and it is so doable. You know, anyone who is interested in trying can really go in and benefit with when it comes to criteria around who is not going to benefit or
Mhm.
is, you know, it is part of our exclusion criteria would be if you are a lower BMI, so less than 18.5, if there is history
Okay.
of eating disorder,
Okay.
if you are breastfeeding or pregnant, then we don't recommend it. And then
Mhm.
if you have, you know, a history of fainting as well, then we don't recommend it as well. And then advanced stages of something like CKD, chronic kidney
Okay.
disease, are the exclusion criteria. But we have specific programs actually designed for diabetes patients and then also metabolic health patients. So we have a 6-month metabolic health program where patients are doing the 5-day fast once a month consecutively.
Okay.
So if you have high cholesterol, hypertension, you know, pre-diabetes, blood sugar management, deep insulin resistance, if you have those deep-rooted issues that really need that deep work to be done, then
Mhm.
that's where the key benefits come in for the 5-day fast. So if someone,
Okay.
for example, on average, if someone does the 5-day fast, you know, everyone experience is different every single time that you do it. And, you know, anyone
Okay.
who goes and tries it themselves, they will understand that. But on average, an individual would lose around, you know, 5 to 6 pounds while they're
Mhm.
actually on the fast.
Mhm.
Whether or not you keep that off depends, of course, on how you're refeeding your body afterwards.
Okay.
So you know, it's always keeping that in mind, but it's short-term benefits like that, but then you're really doing that deep work within the body for the long-term benefits, reducing inflammation that are going to help promote longevity and reduce the likelihood that these chronic disease states are going to develop within the body too. So
Okay.
really, really incredible. And again, there's so many different areas that we can go down, but that's kind
Yeah.
of
Well, I gotta tell you, one of the benefits, I don't think we have touched on this yet, but this was hugely important to me, is prevention of no muscle mass loss.
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, I work really hard for what little muscle I can put on, and I'll be darned, I'm not gonna like starve myself and risk losing that muscle mass, right? That was hugely influential in my decision to do it.
Yeah. So across with all of our clinical data, time and time again with all you know, through all of our different trials, indicating that it is very fat focused. So you know, like Leslie was saying, we're able to really preserve that muscle integrity and muscle mass, especially as we're aging. You don't
Mhm.
want that muscle degradation because it's only going to get more difficult to really
Yeah.
rebuild that
Mm.
strength. So what we have during the fast is, you know, day 1 is actually 1,100 calories and day 2 through 5 is 750 calories.
Okay.
What we have in on day 2 through 5, we have our L drink. So that's glycerin. And
Yeah, tell me
what
what that is.
that's exactly what it is doing. It's fueling the muscles to provide an energy source while you're fasting. Because
Okay.
if someone's just doing a water fast, for example, they may, you know, those muscles may be breaking down. But through the fasting mimicking diet, it's so critical that we're able to preserve that muscle integrity, which is
Okay.
that
I
L.
didn't know it was through the is it L-glycerin?
We
Or is
call it
it
our L drink,
you
but
call it L? Okay.
it is glycerin.
So, yeah, and for our audience, gosh, it's just a little bottle and you mix it with water and you just kind of sip on it all day and it is weight dependent in terms of how much you
Yeah,
actually ingest. I got to tell you, so what I found personally is that it helped reduce hunger. And it helped, I think it helped reduce, I didn't really have cravings, which is really surprising. I
that
don't
is
know. maybe I was lucky.
People
I
don't.
I really did not struggle with that at all. I wasn't Now, granted, we were excited. I did it with my husband, so we were very excited about what we're gonna eat on Friday when it ended. Just saying.
Sure.
Like,
It's
we
an
had
exciting
every
thing
meal
to
planned
eat again.
out, like,
Yes.
"We're going here, we're going there, and what are you gonna order?" Like, we did do that, which is
Maybe
kinda
having your
funny.
cup of coffee. I don't know if you drink coffee, but it's just like, "Oh, I get to drink coffee with cream in it again," and,
Yes,
even just
yes.
being able to make your own meals again, it brings in another level of appreciation for something that you're doing on a daily basis, which is eating
Yep.
all these things, so
I was just gonna mention on that note because you mentioned coffee with cream. Okay, so I am a huge coffee fan, like, love my coffee.
me
Mm.
too.
And you can drink black coffee, I believe it's 2 cups, right? Every single day during the fast.
Yep.
And one of the
Just black
things that
coffee is it's 140 milligrams, so it's up to
okay,
2 small cups.
2 small cups, gotcha. So, and one of the things that I have learned, I think it was through talking to your team at ProLon, one of the nice longer term benefits is that people have a tendency to be more mindful after the fast ends.
Oh, absolutely.
And to that point, so I got to be honest, I love my full cream in my coffee, like love. Can like I'll go to the ends of the earth, right? Like I got to have that in the morning. It's just my thing. I'm pretty surprised, but and that is something that I bet, it's just something that I'm like, I probably could maybe do without, but just wasn't willing or able. After the fast, I was able to eliminate that, which is a
That's
huge surprise. Again, a pleasant surprise.
That's th my mom's the exact same way, and w we did the last time I did the fast, I did it with her, and she needs that cream in
Yeah.
her
Yeah,
again,
same.
y you appreciate, though, even just getting a cup of coffee, though, when you're actually on the
I
fast.
know.
Even if
It's
there's not
really
cream in it, you're like,
interesting.
"Oh, I actually can do this." So but yeah, a huge takeaway from the five-day fast is your hunger and satiety cues, realizing that every time you
Reset.
get a hunger craving, you learn that, "Okay, I can actually just drink some tea or go for a walk or d go do
Yes.
something else that's going to put my mind in a different place so I can, distract myself for a little bit." So
Yeah.
you you come out of it learning so much about yourself and your body, and,
Mhm.
you're
Just
able
how
to
resilient you really
Yeah,
are, you
yeah.
know? On that note of exercise, so, that was something, the thought like, I had this vision in my head, like, I can't work, can't like, I'm just gonna be, like, laying on the couch for 5 days, which was a mental hindrance. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I had to overcome that, but the thing I wanna share with everybody is and granted, everyone's different, but I was able to walk every day. Now, granted, I didn't want to expend a lot of calories because you only, 6, 700, right? But I did do my 10,000 steps, albeit slow and flat. So, and I worked every day.
Yep.
So, and I really was able to focus. So, I think that's a huge benefit. One thing I want to kind of go back to the science. So, can you explain a little bit in more depth, autophagy? What is that? Why is it important? I know you mentioned cellular cleanup. Is this something that, I don't know, like people who have had cancer, is that something that we should pay attention to? Someone with a history? Give us a little more insight, and how is that different? We kinda talked about this before we went live, but the pathways of ketosis.
Yeah. So autophagy was actually coined and won the Nobel Prize in 2016. So
Okay,
again,
so
it's
it's
where
relatively new.
it
Okay,
it the science is relatively new.
okay,
Again, your body's able to go into that deep metabolic cleanup. So misbended organelles, anything that needs to be recycled within the body, your body's able to clean it up. Specific to cancer, we have preclinical trials. So
okay.
most, importantly, these are done in mice. So we have many that have been done and they are showing to be very promising. We have another organization that our founder, Dr. Walter Longo, founded. It's Create Cures, that is specific to supporting those with cancer. But
Okay.
through those early trials, and we don't like to make any claims around this at all because it's all
Okay.
very, very new. However, through that, we're finding that in in collaboration with, the treatment from doctors and everything, it's actually helping to reduce symptoms, actually while someone's going through chemo. So
Oh, interesting.
showing very promising results
Okay.
that we're very hopeful about. So, but it is important to keep in mind too that the 5-day fast that we're using in those clinical trials is slightly different than the ProLon fast as well. So again, it's
Oh,
it
interesting.
really an
Okay.
intriguing conversation that's beginning to emerge, but it's still very much so in those infancy.
Infancy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. And now some of you listening probably already know this, but how, if you could maybe talk a little bit about, that the pathway of autophagy versus, ketosis,
Yeah.
and do they overlap? Because
Yes.
I know when I went into ketosis, I got ketone strips, and I'm like, yay, it's happening.
Yeah.
Um, so in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe that means I am in that autophagy, if I'm saying that right, phase as well.
Yes. So
But give us a little background.
yeah, so while you're actually on the 5-day fast, everyone is different. So depending on your metabolic flexibility, whether or not
Mhm.
you've ever put your body into a state of ketosis, if you have before, it's going to be easier to tap back into
Okay.
ketosis and receive those benefits. However, some people might have more difficulty getting into ketosis. So
Okay.
ketosis is just one aspect of it. It's not really the primary, what we're hoping to achieve with
Okay.
5-day fast. The primary aspect is autophagy. So that's that deep
Okay.
cellular rejuvenation. And what's happening there is we're able to down regulate our nutrient sensing pathways. So it's actually for PKA, IGF-1, and mTOR. So these nutrient sensing pathways are brought down to a certain extent, and that's when the green light goes on for autophagy. So
Okay.
that's why you can still consume a little bit of food and still get those cellular benefits within the body.
Interesting. So they're not necessarily happening in tandem.
Yes, usually if your body does go into ketosis, it's going to go maybe after like day 2, and then your body's going into deep autophagy on day 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it took me maybe a little longer
Yeah.
to get into ketosis. So, is it safe to then a safe assumption that now that I know I put my body through it, I know for sure I was in very deep ketosis. Next time around, maybe it'll happen sooner. And I assume that's a good thing because my body is using ketones as an energy source, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So it's
again, it's
helpful.
dependent, but if, you're able to get into it, then it is, and it depends too of what you were eating leading up to the fast, how your stress levels were prior to the fast. There's so many different variables that have an impact on your body
Okay.
and whether or not you're able to tap into,
Okay. Because that is a question that I have gotten, is, "Hey, I'm excited. I'm gonna do this fast." And I have had a couple people reach out and say, "What should I do to prepare the week
yeah.
prior?" Are there recommendations that you can share?
Yeah, technically, you don't if you just wanna start the fast tomorrow, you can start it tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I usually recommend priming your body a little bit, so at least the day
Okay.
before, trying to eat, foods that you're making at home, whole foods that are nourishing to your body,
Okay.
drinking or consuming a lot of alcohol before. Because again, if you go into starting the 5-day fast and you're a little, groggy from the night before, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So just prep yourself, the day before, give yourself a little
Okay.
a little leeway to enter into that and then kind of going from there. And then afterwards, when you're in day 6, so the fast is 5 days, and then on day 6,
Yes.
that's what we call our refeeding day. Typically, again, we recommend sticking to mostly plant-based foods, whole
Okay.
foods. Um, again, the protein in animal-based foods is what's going to, really kick you out of that cellular autophagy. So
Oh,
try to stick
interesting.
to
Okay.
both mostly plant-based foods still on day 6 if you want to
Okay.
continue it. Again, we've
Okay.
had people that have done the fast and then, eaten a cheeseburger the next
Yeah.
day. So,
Yeah, I had Italian,
yeah, yeah. So,
like, bring it on. I'm doing
yeah.
it.
And it just depends on your goals. What are you
Yeah.
hoping to achieve? Are you hoping to really
Right.
have this as a kickstart and then you can prolong these benefits?
Okay.
So it's really up to that. And
All
also
right.
everything within our fast is gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's soy-free, and it is
The
plant.
food was great. I
Yeah,
gotta tell you. I think the organic version, like the newer version, and it was really, really good.
it's good.
I do want to ask you a question. So all these things are percolating for me. Okay, so I do know that Prolon also has like the fasting bars and the shakes. Where does that fit in? Because
Yeah.
I looked at the nutrients and, like we're not talking protein bars for sure, right? We're talking relatively low protein. How do we utilize these tools and what's the intention?
Yeah, so we have the fasting bar and fasting shake are the same technology. One is
Okay.
just per version, one shake version,
Okay.
but they're really great for if someone is working, they're doing more intermittent fasting or time restricted eating or just getting started with
Okay.
that. So say that you are doing, 16/8 fasting or something like that. You can wake up in the morning, eat the fast bar, and it's going to keep you in that fasted state, so you're not getting
Okay.
kicked out of it. So you're still gonna get those benefits. So through the clinical trials that we have specifically with the fasting bars, it's pretty cool. We are looking at when someone's eating the Prolon's fasting bar versus if it's a complete water fast, and we're seeing similar ketones and glucose levels. We were measuring it
Okay.
an hour for 4 hours after the fact, and they stayed nearly identical to the water. So it's really cool technology. Or if you want to do like a 24-hour fast, but you need a little something, you can have a shake midday to really utilize it in that sense too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So what a great tool. So instead of just going without anything to try to maybe extend that fast window if you're doing
Yeah.
intermittent fasting,
Yeah.
yeah, that's super helpful. Okay, great. So, all right. To be clear then, the people that are a good fit, anyone that has metabolic issues, insulin sensitivity issues, cholesterol, I'm assuming, like of that whole cluster, right?
Yeah.
Would potentially be a good fit.
Yeah, really anyone with metabolic. We do have a programs designed for anyone with diabetes, but
Okay.
for practitioners, you can actually refer out to that program where they're doing the
Okay.
consecutive fast and they're under more of medical supervision because we want to be, if they're on
Super
insulin and
safe.
everything like that, we just want to be more mindful in that sense. But again, anyone can do it. Even if
Okay.
generally, because there are the longevity benefits too. If you're really
Yeah.
looking to optimize your health, then there's so many wonderful benefits that come out of it as well.
Okay. Do we like if someone is on an antihypertensive medication, do we need to be concerned about that? I noticed my heart rate went down,
Yeah.
um, which actually was great. I welcome that, you know. But it just made me wonder, do we need to be concerned about any um issues with people on medications like antihypertensives, maybe metformin. I
Yeah.
get the insulin thing, right? I completely 100% clear on that. I don't want to mess with that. I would refer my clients to Prolon for that special program. But what about, other patient types?
Yeah. So in general, you stick to whatever medication that you're on while you're actually
Okay.
doing the fast. You named both of the two that we would require more supervision, and that's
Okay.
blood sugar medications and then also blood pressure medications. That's
Okay.
why we have designed these two programs, the metabolic health and the diabetes program, so that there is
Okay.
supervision if someone is actually on those medications. And as a provider, if you are a managing provider overseeing those programs, then we send you all the information on any sort of medication adjustments that might be needed.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little screen share. Hopefully this is going to work. Can you see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, awesome. So, guys, I did want to share. This is my affiliate link for ProLon. And if you want to go ahead and scan this link, grab your kits, I would love to do a group fast. So I really want to encourage you, check it out, get your kit, set a date. I'm going to do this at least 2 more times. Well, I guess it would be 2 more times
Yeah.
when I look at like we don't have that much more time left in this year. So my plan is to do it a couple more times before year end. So get your kit scanned. Let's do it together. I will be sending out emails to my list on exactly when those dates are. So stay tuned for more. If you're not on my email list, just go to lesliebytel.com. I have lots of freebies you can download. It'll get you on my list, and that way you'll know exactly when we are going to do these group fasts. But like I said earlier, it's really helpful to have a start date, and it's really great to do it together. It really is. I know that is what propelled me to actually set a date and do it because I announced I was doing it, right? So it's like, okay, I got to do it. No more, coming up with reasons not to. And again, it was easy. I don't want to say 100% all the time. Like every now and then I heard my stomach growl, not gonna, but it was doable. The biggest thing I was worried about was, will my brain function?
Yeah.
Right? And it did. My brain functioned just fine. So, and I always say, if I can do it, you can do it
Yes.
without a doubt, right? So, because I don't honestly know, I don't know that I've ever gone into ketosis. So it was kind of the fear of the unknown, right? That maybe was getting in my way. But gosh, now that I've done it, it'll be a regular part of my life. And I'd love to have you guys join me. So as we start to wrap things up, Molly, what else would you like to share? Is there any other pearls that we want to pass along before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we work with over 20,000 healthcare professionals, and you can get set up as a provider with L-Nutra and ProLon. So if you're ever interested, you can reach out to Leslie, you can reach out to our team, but it's a really great opportunity where, you can get your patients, products that are going to help them achieve the outcomes that they're looking for. So I
Yay.
loved chatting with you about this, Leslie. And yeah, let me know if you have any other
It's an
questions.
exciting topic. Any way you can lop off 2.5 years of should we
Craziness.
call it your cellular age or your biological age?
Biological age.
Okay. Um, Sign me up, right? Sign me up. And
Yeah.
P.S. I was at IHS in when is that, February? And I actually did do the one of the labs where they measured your age.
Okay.
And yeah, so I do have a pretty good sense of where I landed there. Thankfully, that was a little nerve-wracking, but that's a whole nother tangent. I was like, oh man, if I end up older, I'm gonna be really upset.
Always
But
scary.
no, it was great. It was fine. But yeah, like a shortcut to reduce that by 2.5 years.
It's pretty cool. It's really
Sign
cool.
me up. Definitely.
And
So,
to get those benefits, you do it once a month for 3 months, and then you just do it once a quarter. So you can do
oh,
it
is
a couple
that it? Okay. I knew about the three. Oh, it's so that's how you maintain the
Yeah,
benefit.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, you still get the benefits even if you just do the 3 cycles, but if
Right.
you really wanna optimize, you can just continue to do it a couple times a
So
year.
let me repeat that for our audience, just so everyone's clear. So basically, to get that 2.5 years lopped off, you do it, it's a 90-day protocol, and you do it for 5 days each month to lop off 2.5 years. And then you could stop there, or you could do, I think you said quarterly,
Yep,
right?
yep, so once a quarter.
Which is absolutely doable. Okay. So that's my plan, guys. I'm all over it, especially since I know what my age is through the lab test. So I'm really, really excited about this. All right, guys. So give that code a scan. Let's do it together. Um, I do want to just mention briefly before we disconnect that I personally think it's really, really helpful to, I don't know, maybe do it on your own before you do it with your patients. It's not a prerequisite. Don't get me wrong. It's really not. But I kind of feel like if I was still a practitioner, just having had that experience
Yeah.
is really going to make that conversation so much more rich because I can really be upfront and say, here's what it felt like, here's how it was for me.
Yeah.
So I think it's such a good place to start. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Try it out yourself. Again, as Leslie mentioned, there is that apprehension, like, can I do this?
You
Is it
can
gonna be
do
able to
it.
fit into my life or whatever that is? But you can. It is so doable. It's a really cool experience. And then you get a discount if you scan through Leslie's code too. So
Yeah, that is the
yeah.
other thing. It's a significant discount. So give that code a scan. Let's do it together. Um, and I will be sending out more information to everyone on the specific date. So let's do it. Let's end the year with a bang in terms of, just ringing in good health, right?
Yes.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up. I want to thank you so very much, Molly, for joining me today. What a great conversation. I could talk about this all day.
Me too.
So I love it so very much. And it's just so exciting that we have a tool that has the science behind it. It's not like a big guessing game where you're just like, oops, I hope this works.
Yes.
So, which again, that's what motivated me is the science. So, all right, guys. So give that code a scan. Let's do it together. And thanks again for your time, Molly, and your willingness to share all this great science. All right, take care.